Hello, everyone. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. And yeah, I'm excited and happy to meet everyone here today. Today is the first day of E-Africa. The E-Africa Challenge officially kicks off today. I know we are quite late. Sorry about that. But then we'll get into it quickly. So yes, we have lots of activities planned, and I will be the first going with a short presentation about what E-Africa Challenge is all about. My name is Oscar Michael, and I'm the co-founder of Africa Communicate. And thanks for joining us. Yep, this is really appreciate it, and we look forward to seeing what we are going to build during this period. So I'll get straight to the point because our speakers are very busy and we would not want to take out of their time. So I have a little presentation to make. Yes, please. And yes, so I'm going to try and do my best to make this very quick. And yeah, once more, welcome to E-Africa Challenge. This is the first day. It's going to be a one-week event, and we look forward to seeing what we would do together in this period. And as you can see, the tag is exploring creative ways to problem solving. And yeah, let's look at the background. So currently, the world is facing unprecedented challenges. Climate change, resource shortages, water scarcity, and more. And with these sustainability pressures on the world's resources, the need for new thinking and creative approaches is clearer than ever. There is now a huge need for us to creatively look outside the box and solve the problem being faced in the world globally. And so for the E-Africa Challenge, the theme this year, we're looking at climate change. For those who might not be familiar, climate change is a long shift in the weather condition identified by changes in temperature, precipitation, wind, and many other indicators. And we're looking at climate change because of the adverse effect it has on Africa. And if you look deeper into that, some of the effects on Africa are food insecurity, population displacement, rising temperature, water scarcity, health impact, as well as many other things. So moving on. Sorry, I'm trying to be time cautious so that we don't keep the other speakers waiting. When you look at Africa's plight with climate change, it's sad because Africa's climate change burden is greater. Africa is home to 1/3 of the world's tropical forests, which store large amounts of CO2 because the trees absorb the carbon. Though Africa accounts for only 2 to 3% of the world's carbon dioxide emissions, it's a cruel irony that the continent is in line to be hit hardest by the resulting climate changes. And why is this so? It's because in Africa, there's still huge dependence on rainfall for agriculture. Africa as a continent has a complex, large-scale weather system. In the West here, we have different weather system. We have Harmattan, we have rainy season. In the East, there are different weather system. In the South, snow falls. So you see Africa has a really complex weather system. Also, there is a low adaptation to change in Africa due to poverty levels and infrastructure and the rest. And then there is still huge amount of deforestation going on, felling of trees for various applications. And these are the things that make Africa fall under greatest threat from the changes in climate. And that's what made us look in time conscious. And that's what made us look that we need to take a stand and encourage creative problem solving. Problem solving, it's not only for people in apps development, for example, or people in business, as they say. Anyone can become an entrepreneur, anyone can solve problem. And we believe creatives can also engage in that. And there are proofs of that out there in the world already. So we came up with the idea of E-Africa Challenge. The E-Africa actually stands for Evolve Africa. And this is going to be an annual one-week conference for African digital creatives, aimed at raising awareness on the sustainable development goals, as well as providing training and support to these creatives, who we hope would go further to become ambassadors of the SDGs, as well as launch sustainable projects and startups that promote the realization of the SDGs. It will take all hands on deck to attain a sustainable and circular economy. And we're extending this opportunity, we're extending this challenge to African digital creatives. And people might ask why creatives? Basically, simply because creative projects like games, videos, animation, arts, extended reality, and the likes have been proven to provide a stronger appeal and connection with audience. According to a research, it's said to increase by 48%. The increase in motivation through gamification is at 48%, and that I find is something very, very interesting. And also, if you look at it, creative projects help strengthen clear communication, helps increase engagement, increase motivation, and it's a good opportunity for entrepreneurship. The African digital creative space seems to be very streamlined. So if we can include creatives in solving social problems, this is a good opportunity for diversification in the industry. And we came up with a plan. It's 12:30 already, so I believe that most of the speakers would be in waiting for us. Yes, and we're moving on. I'm going to quickly round up. So we came up with a plan looking at what we can do with the challenge. And we did the official launch on Earth Day. We also look at having a 3 days webinar this week, followed by a hackathon, which is open to all creatives, and then a post-hackathon where we grade, we announce the winners, and see if we can connect these winners. Actually, everyone is a winner, but see if we can connect people with amazing projects to funding and incubation. During the 3 days webinar, people will be expected to undertake a course from UNCC Learn so that they can get familiar with climate change. And yes, our speaker is in, so I will need to round up. So they can get familiar with climate change, they can get the important data and facts that is needed so that whatever they are creating actually follows what is correct out there. And we look forward to seeing all of that. So what are we to expect at the end of this challenge? Basically, we expect to see creative projects in the forms of games, animation, artworks, mobile app, XR apps, videos. In fact, there is no limit to what you can do. As long as it's a creative project, this challenge is open to everyone. And there are some examples of projects out there like Clean My Beach from K4 Games, which is a Senegal-based game studio, the Greenpeace International Video Virtual Planet Project, the Anthropocene Education Project. These are the kind of things we are looking forward to seeing. So as long as you're a creative, this challenge is for you, be it a game, an animation project, an artwork, mobile app, an XR app, a video, anything creative that is digital as well. We look forward to seeing what you would build. And like they say, this is a favorite quote which we use, the greatest threat to our planet is the belief that someone else would save it. So please, we're calling on all creatives. That's why we're doing this. The social problems out there are not going to be solved by a stranger. It's high time we solve our own problems because we understand them. We understand how we interact with them better. So let's do this together. When we started out going out to plan the E-Africa Challenge, I'll be rounding up shortly, we reached out for partnership. And one thing we do know as in this creative industries, In the long run, earlier, collaboration was one thing that was lacking. But we believe that with collaboration, with everyone working together, organizations, creatives alike working together, we can achieve so more. So we reached out to partnerships. We reached out for partnerships with some organizations, and we would just simply like to say a big thank you to everyone who has come on board. I don't have much time. This was supposed to go longer. That's why I'm rushing a little. But then, just quickly, would like to really thank Max Musau, the founder of G-Way Studios, for coming on board and supporting us. G-Way Studios is a video game publishing platform, an esports community, and I like to call them the itch.io of Africa. They have a platform where you can put your projects there. And as a game developer, it's just simply amazing. You could also monetize it and get funds to your local accounts through mobile money or the likes. Also, we have Peter, who is right now on the call and waiting for me. Sorry, Peter. The mighty ego of Rovio Entertainment. You might know that as Angry Birds. Also co-founder of Ambitious Africa, who has supported us from the very beginning when we started our Gameathon up till now. And through his platform, Ambitious Africa, is trying to connect Africa and Nordics together so that they can equally solve the SDGs through entrepreneurship, education, and entertainment. Johana Riquier, who I call Jojo, a business developer and social impact advocate who has really, really helped the creative industry in Africa. I know of Africa and I can say clearly that she has been a huge help to everyone here. Also, when you look at Dan Kinyanjui, the co-founder of Creative Nest, a creative hub in Mombasa, Kenya, which is on the verge, on the rise of changing and supporting the creative system, the creative ecosystem in Kenya. Thanks a lot. We also have Sostri, Nicholas Green from Sostri. Sostri is a sustainability organization. They can help you tell your sustainability stories, help you see how you can change your process to become more sustainable. And we're really grateful to have you on board. Then Trista Patterson, a lead principal economist at United Nations Environment Program and the co-founder for Playing for Planet. Really awesome to have you on. Then we'll be meeting with Julian Hebin, the CEO of KFO Games, the one who created the Clean My Beach. We'll be having a look at their games, which is really exciting. I'm really interested to see that. Then Diara Awa, the president of June's Startup Malians. That's an organization of Mali startups. We really, really look forward. We're really excited. You have Dillian Grace from OpenBack. Big shout out to Ben, who has been supporting us. OpenBack helps you optimize your push notifications, and we'll be having some interaction with them. We also have Tim Collins from Games for Our Future, who have also organized the Climate Jam, with Seattle Indoors, and would love to get this. Really excited to have someone who has done something like this before coming on board to support us. We have Katarina Stanson from Checheza. Checheza is an East African-based organization that focuses on fun learning, using play to educate people, children, and we'll see she's going to be interacting with us. Really excited. Thanks for coming. Then we also have Center for Contemporary Art Lagos. Big shout out to Indamola Fakeya for your big support. Also, we have Games Industry Africa. Big shout out to Vic Bassi. Games Industry Africa is the platform you should go to hear news, to get updated on the games industry in Africa. You want data, you want to see trends, you want to know what is happening, you need to go to that platform. And we also have Kwa Games, who is going to ensure that this activity we're getting involved in is going to be so much fun. And yeah, and I believe we also have 80 Level, lest I forget, our media partner as well. 80 Level is a platform if you're looking for jobs, if you're looking for information. It's a global platform, and you also need to look into them. Thanks so much for supporting us. So yep, the Africa Challenge is brought to you by Africa Communicate. We're out of time, so I'll give more information on this later on. So I hope I've been able to give you just a brief of what the Africa Challenge is about. Now we are going to move on to our first speaker for today. And guys, welcome, Peter. Hello, Peter.
Hey, thank you. It's great to be here. Hey,
Yes.
how are you?
Fine. How are
Very
you?
good.
Okay,
Very good,
awesome.
very good. So I'm here in sunny Helsinki. So it's yeah, normal summer day, 33 degrees or something like that. So it's like pretty warm today.
That's nice. I'm
It's
currently
not
in
too bad.
Ghana, and yeah, I'm currently in Ghana, and it's warm as well. It's actually cool. So yeah, very great. So I think I'll give the floor right to you, and please over to you, sir.
Hey, yeah, thank you. And as I said, it's really great to be here. And I think one thing that I immediately wanted to kind of like connect with there is you're talking about doing things together, and I think that is super important. And that's actually what we've been doing now with Ambitious Africa. So we started that a bit over a year ago, and the intent is really to bring the young people of Africa, so all 54 nations, Ghana and all the others as well, together with the Nordic nations, so Finland, Sweden, Norway, Denmark, and so on. So really bring the young people together and really then work together to solve like the really big problems. So of course, looking at all the SDGs and all of that. Then one thing that I am a big believer in education, and I think that is really the only kind of like sustainable way to change the world. So we really need to focus on education and make sure that we provide fantastic education, not just for a few people, but to all people. And that is one thing that Finland and Nordic countries kind of key thing to the success and why we managed to create very, let's say, functioning societies and also very happy societies. So I think happiness we should also always keep in mind. And basically, according to the UN, Finland has been the happiest nation now 4 years running. And our Nordic friends are not far behind, so they're typically occupying the number 2, 3, and so on. So I think that Nordic countries clearly are doing pretty well if you look at happiness as one like metric. And I think that there is a strong correlation between providing everybody with fantastic education and the happiness, because basically then if we give everybody the best possible start in life, then the rest doesn't like automatically take care of itself, but it helps. So education is really important, and that of course is then connected to kind of like talent and everything. Also, what is really important that if you have fantastic education, it's a little bit like with creating the best possible game. If you create the best game ever, who cares if nobody knows about it? And I think that it's a little bit like then with the fantastic education, that you also need to do something with that education. And I think that is where this kind of like second E, if education is the first E letter, then I think that the second one is entrepreneurship. And entrepreneurship and entrepreneurs are people who do things. And I think that is, again, it doesn't matter if you're in games or in another like creative industry or if you're in any business or anything you do in life, it's about entrepreneurship. It's about doing things and taking initiative. So if you want to change the world, it's probably not going to change by itself. You actually need to do something about that. And that's what entrepreneurs do. And that's what entrepreneurship is all about. Then I always talk about this third E, entertainment. And I think that is important on so many levels. So we're always competing for the attention, for the time of people. There are so many things that you can do. You could, play one of those great games that you mentioned, or you could boot up, like Netflix and watch the latest, hit movie, hit series. So there are so many things that you can do with your time. And we can learn from like how the best games companies are doing that, or entertainment industry in general. Very good at getting the attention, keeping the attention. So I always say that if you want to create fantastic learning experiences and really make sure that people learn the skills that they need later in life, we need to bring together the best pedagogues and the best game designers. And we can really create, again, fantastic learning experience by working together. So I think this is something that is very important. And then when you look at bringing these kind of like transformative triple E together, so you have education, entrepreneurship, and entertainment, then I think that we can really like do pretty much anything. And I think that this theme of togetherness is really important, because you can always learn from each other. So we figured out a few things here in Finland, Nordic countries, but we didn't invent and create all of these things. We actually always very open to ideas from other parts of the world, and I think that is actually one of the secrets of the success here, that we have been very open to adapt ideas from other places, and not believing that we know better and we always know best. Actually, it's probably many times the opposite, and we can always learn. And I think that is, again, we can learn from what is going on all over Africa, and hopefully we can also then help and share some of the things that we've learned here. So it's all about learning together, and also about really learning by doing. So I think that the best way to learn in many cases, it really is all about doing things. I think the bigger the organization, the bigger nation, we're always very good at overthinking things and analyzing things. And while we are busy analyzing and thinking about doing something, then the world has already moved on, and it's like too late for the perfect plan that you created. So I always say that don't think, do think. And what I mean by that is that we should really go out there, do, and when we do things, of course, many times when we do new things, we fail, because that's kind of like how the world works. But we always learn, and then we try again, fail, try again, and then we eventually will be successful. I mean, just like looking at Rovio and Angry Birds, Rovio created 51 games before the 52nd game, which was Angry Birds. So it's not like you just get a few guys together and then you create a game and it's a hit, and then before you know it, it becomes the fastest growing consumer brand ever. It took a few trials before it got to the big one. So I think that, again, great example of how you learn by doing things, learn by making new games, and then you make better and better and better games all the time. And I think this is not just in the games industry, it's in anything that we do. Then another thing that I think, again, working together, but I think also it is about bringing people together, sometimes, like-minded people, but also like people from different backgrounds, different nations, different, skill sets. So I think that it's very important to focus on the diversity. Of course, you there in Ghana know a lot more about the market, the opportunities, the challenges in Ghana than I ever could. I actually never even been there, so what do I know? And I think that this is, again, working together and seeing like what we could do. But I think if you look at then where a lot of the success stories, be it in technology or games or any kind of like industry, there are a few hotspots here and there around the planet. So I would say that success and innovation happens everywhere nowadays, and I think this is something that technology, and especially like the connectivity, the internet, mobile technologies, have brought all of us much closer together, and we have access to information like never before. But still, we have a need to get together, physically, and of course now in these kind of like pandemic times, I think that we're really understanding the value of that. That yes, we can do pretty much anything online, but I think that many of the breakthroughs and like really truly great ideas really still require that we get together in person, physically, and then we come up with kind of like the best ideas. So we can really see that there are these concentrations of talent. So of course, Silicon Valley comes to mind, or you can look at like Hollywood, or you can look at what is going on in music in like the UK, in Sweden. So there are like certain ecosystems that have like a very kind of like firm geographic like location as well. So that is still very important. So geography and physical locations, even with the pandemic, I think that haven't lost kind of like their significance. So one thing that I'm really focused on right now is then looking at how we can bring talent together and looking at these hotspots. So here in Finland, we've been very successful in games. I think we now have about 3,000 people working in our games industry, and they're adding 1,000 in the next 12 months. So it's starts to be like significant if you look at then, Finland only 5.5 million people. So it starts to be like even national level a significant industry. And I think that we accounted for something like 6% of the global mobile games business. So that's pretty good for like a tiny little nation like Finland. So there is higher density of talent when it comes to games. So more game developers, more game studios than like anywhere else, higher than say Tokyo or London or West Coast of the US. And I think that then when you start looking at this talent density, when you have very, very high talent density in a particular industry, then that almost guarantees that there will be a continuous stream of success stories and continuous stream of hit games in this case. So, Angry Birds, then you have Supercell with Clash of Clans and so on. You have Small Giant Games and Seriously, and, like there's more and more. So you also get these role models, and they guys can do that, then we'll do something even bigger. And I think that this is what we also need to do across Africa. We need more great role models like the companies that we heard about, in the previous presentation. So once we have, a bit of success, then let's amplify that and let's use that as a role model for the rest of the people. So then, if those guys in Ghana can do that, then we can do that here in Nigeria or in Rwanda or Zimbabwe or, wherever it might be. So I think that this is something that is, again, super important that we celebrate and highlight and amplify the success. And also then when we do that, that will attract kind of like more talent to that industry, to that physical area, that location. And I think this is something that we really need to kind of like keep in mind. And that's something that I'm kind of like excited about, bringing together people again to create, the next big thing. So I think that is something that we all need to think about, like the talent attraction. How do we then attract the talent to our part of the world? So I think this is something that is very important. But anyway, I really didn't have more to share today, but I think that what I would still kind of like highlight that it's very important that we put the young people in charge and we enable the young people to make things happen. So I think that's something that is super, super important. So it's a job of us, like slightly older people, to make sure that we keep the governments and old people out of the way while the young people change the world. So that is something that is super, super important. And that is also what we're doing with Ambitious Africa. So if you haven't checked out Ambitious Africa yet, then you should do that. So I think that we could always use a helping hand, from young people and talented people. So if you go and want to know more about Ambitious Africa, go to ambitious.africa, and very easy to kind of like then connect and then we can figure out what we could do together. That's all I had today, and it was great to be here. And thank you for pulling together this fantastic event. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thanks so much for coming. Before you go, please, I would just like to highlight some of the really important things you've said, which are really awesome. And I'm looking at entrepreneurship, because we know in Africa, as a creative myself, especially in the games industry, one thing that has really pushed people off is that to become profitable is so difficult. And then when we compare ourselves or compare our dreams, everyone wants to be like Rovio Studios, Ubisoft, Activision, EA. And then you mentioned something very key, which is Rovio Studios actually made 51 games before Angry Birds. And you made a statement out. I didn't get that. I really want to write it down. You said, don't do think or something, please.
I said, I basically said that don't think, do think. And what I mean by that don't like overly analyze. So don't think too much about things. Just go out there and do. And then you think again, analyze what you actually achieve by doing. So I think that's another way of saying learning by doing. But I think that it's very important because, yeah, we're all very good at, overthinking, overanalyzing things, and it's a little bit like, if I take the example of driving a car. I mean, yes, probably you can learn how to drive a car by reading a lot of books and thinking about it, but it's much faster to actually like just go out there and drive the car. You learn much faster, and I think that it's the same thing if you look at entrepreneurship. If you look at like creating games. Yes, of course, it's good to know the theory and all of that, but probably you learn the best if you make games. And then, okay, it wasn't successful, then you make the next one. And then it's also, if you look at the example of Rovio and Angry Birds, I mean, the whole company started as a student project. So I organized a game making competition all the way back in 2003. Then 3 young guys, Niklas, Kim, and Jarno from Aalto University took part and won the competition. And then they asked me that, hey, Peter, what do we do now? We won this game making competition and we are students here at Aalto. What should we do? And then I said, you should do what you love to do. So they started a company to do what they love to do, which was making games. And I think that this is also very important that, it's really, if you hate your job and all of that, do something else, so you should always focus on kind of like doing what you love to do. And you can always tell from companies that if they employ people who actually like what they do, or even better, love their jobs and love what they do, because you can see that in the products, in the games, in the movies, in the cars, or whatever the company happens to be making.
Wow, thanks so much for that. I feel like that was needed to be said, because a lot of people think success just happens. Rarely do people celebrate the struggle along the way. It's always the success. So thanks so much for that. And yes, there are lots of, you also spoke of talent density, and that's something we're really interested about. There are lots of programs coming up right now to support African creatives across. We have the Epic Game program run by NetInfo. We have an incubation with Crazy Labs and Carry First. And even we, Africa Comic Aid, also have the fellowship, which we're trying to structure very well. And one thing we look forward to doing is, in the nearest future, we're trying to lay down this structure so we can see how we can connect the Nordic, the Finnish game industry with the African game industry in terms of training talent and the likes. We really look forward to that.
Yeah, we want to do that. And actually, hey, that when you mentioned incubators, I mean, we are running actually a summer incubator in Pärnu, Estonia, so part of the finest Bay Area. So it's Parnu, PARNU.games. And there's a summer incubator. We could replicate that, in Africa. And another thing, of course, we are always welcoming African teams to participate in our incubation programs. So I think that it's very good to do this kind of cross-fertilization, Nordic teams, African teams working together, sharing experiences. And I think that's one thing that makes the games industry here in Finland particularly great, is that everybody is working together. And if I need to know about how to do the best possible, user acquisition, I'll go to talk to the guys at Supercell, or then, maybe another thing, I'll go to Small Giant Games, and so on and so on. So it's a very, very collaborative community. So again, coming back to what you said, working together, that's super important.
Okay. Awesome then, awesome. I think I'll follow up with you to get more details about that, and then I'll push it out into our community and share other communities. So thanks so much for your time, Peter.
Fantastic.
It was really wonderful chatting with you.
Thank you.
Have a lovely day.
It's wonderful to be here and have a great event. Hey, thank you. Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, guys. Yes. That was really, really interesting. And I think our second speaker is already in the call, and I'm really excited to introduce you to her. And I think something really interesting about what Peter made mention of, which is very key for us all to look at, is as entrepreneurs, the truth is it's not easy, and it's not going to be easy for anyone. Whatever you are doing, as long as the main reason a lot of people are not doing it is because it's difficult. And so if you really want to make that break, if you really want to make that change, then you should be prepared for lots of struggles, lots of challenges. And imagine, we all know Angry Birds, we love Angry Birds. There's even the Angry Bird movie right now, and there are lots of merchandise, branded items, a lot of activity going on in Rovio Studios today. Rovio's Entertainment. But then are you willing to build 51 games before your big break? I think that's a big question. Are you willing to build 51 games before your big break? That's a question you should ask yourself, because apparently those who really started from nothing and got there to the top really sacrificed a lot. So are you willing? Are you ready? Well, this is the Africa Challenge, and yep, we'll be challenging you with lots of things during this event. That was really wonderful session. As he made mention of, we have the Peru. I'm going to share that in the link later on, the incubation program in Estonia, and there are lots of more activities going on. So yep, please, let's see what we can do together. So right now, we'll be moving on to our next session, but before that, let's just go on a short break. Yep. Thanks all for joining. And yep, I see Jojo is here. Ooh. I'm so excited. Hello, Jojo.
Hi. How are you?
Fine. How are you?
Great, thank you. I'm great.
Awesome. It's so good to have you here. So yeah, guys, for everyone listening, maybe I'll do the introduction first and then I'll leave it. This session we're speaking with Jojo on using your creativity for social change. And I'm just going to read out Jojo's profile. Trust me, it has been watered down seriously. And yeah, so Jojo has been voted one of the 100 game changers in 2020. And she's an award-winning diversity advocate, guest speaker, and business strategist. Since joining the gaming industry, Johana has taken steps to promote and represent minorities in the digital and gaming space. In and out of tech corporate, she has worked head-on to advocate for diversification of content creators, and the community as a whole. So yeah, welcome, Jojo. I'm so excited to have you join us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Oscar. It's a
Yeah,
pleasure. It's an honor.
it means so much to us. Like, I believe you're at work. Today is a Monday and you're taking time out to speak with us. So really, big thanks. This means so much to us. So this profile I've read doesn't even do justice to you at all, if I must say. So please introduce yourself.
So thank you. Thank you for having me again. Hi, everyone. So until next week, I lead strategic business development in the Middle East and Africa at Unity. So what does that mean? So it really means that I help governments and large companies in the region to transform their economy in creating sustainable employability and self-sufficiency. The goal is to create solutions that will ensure that the population gains sustainable and marketable skills in Unity, and that the solution will enable them to launch successful startup, market their skill to existing businesses, local and international, and really to help promote the Middle East and Africa region as the hub for real-time 3D scale, not only in the region, but across the globe. One of the key measures of the success of those programs is the number of talent that is added to the employment landscape. So basically creating inclusive economic opportunities. So that is what I do at Unity until next week.
Wow.
So from July, I'll be establishing a boutique consultancy agency with a heavy emphasis on Africa and emerging markets. The main mission being to leverage gaming as a catalyst to create sustainable digital innovation in the different regions. So how to break into a new market, knowing and understanding the long-term strategy, engaging with those new markets to really provide disruptive innovation and really move towards a low-hand disruptive innovation. So it's really long-term strategy. The ultimate goal is to remain in a sustaining innovation ecosystem.
Wow. Wow. I don't even know what to say right now. That's quite a lot. And that's really, really exciting. And I love where you're taking even the gaming industry too. You're looking at fashion, you're looking at many interesting stuff. And this is really exciting. Wow. Excited to hear more about that. Okay. Okay, then. So for those who don't know, I keep on saying this almost every time I meet her. I'm sure she's tired about it. Jojo has been in the industry for more than 6 years right now. And she's really, really helped lots of underrepresented communities get access to network, get access to opportunities, which is something that is very key, especially in our African creative industry. So what I would just love you to do, Jojo, I don't know, from your travels, you've been to Nigeria, that's where we met. You've been to other countries, you've been to Ghana as well. From your travels all across, what do you think of the African creative industry? Yeah.
What I think about the creative industry is the tenacity and the focus. Africa Comicade is an example of what African creative can do and what is special, the focus, and there is huge opportunities in Africa and emerging market to leverage the creativity and to have that change and that focus actually and tenacity. This is why this is actually what pushed me to support. Let me give you an example when you tell me about when you asked me about this question and the tenacity, 6 years or 6 years ago, because I've been at Unity for 7 years, there was a young developer that knew about Unity, and he wanted some educational license. And at that time, the educational license were chargeable. So I made sure that he got a trial license for 90 days. And in order for him, because why he wanted this license, he wanted to do an after-school class in the universities that he was teaching to expose some of the students to Unity and to game development. And what really struck me is that he was really enthusiastic at that time. And when he got he was so thankful that he sent me a couple of photos, and there was several students around just one laptop, and they were actually learning game development on Notepad. So that's when I talk about tenacity and focus, and really have this knack to really go regardless of the challenges. This is what I think really made me support and start networking and really understand the ecosystem in Africa.
Wow, that's really exciting. I do wish we could see if we could follow up with him. And that would really be awesome to see where he has gone to with that, where he has taken that to right now. And that's really exciting. So when we talk of social change, it's now thanks to Gen Z that that generation is very stubborn, but then they're also breaking boundaries and making change happen faster. They are more vocal, they are more outspoken. But during my own time and before, gaming was not something seen as reasonable, especially in Africa, which was seen like, you're wasting your time. And now we're speaking about using creativity to push, to drive social change. What does this mean, please?
What does this mean? So the main difference that I see, and what does it mean for me, that, as you say, the Gen Z, there is the cultural and the creative industry play a big role, not only in Africa economy, but as well globally, because we have seen that there is the UN 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. They're using as well gaming. It means that you're going to use your God-given gift to really take part of a sustainable change, not only because when we talk about sustainable change, when we talk about changing the world, is not only on the environmental, but as well on the human side as well. One of the things that I advocate for voices, and so aside from my work at Unity, as you said, I have an initiative named the Overlook Agents. I have a YouTube channel, and I support financially several organizations with that social impact focus, with that social change focus. And the YouTube channel, for example, I created it to provide a platform for diverse experience in the gaming industry, but beyond as well. And let me give you an example. I interview Big Brother's Hug Foundation CEO founders who actually helps men cope with mental health and fighting gender-based violence in South Africa. So it goes beyond the environmental. It also goes to the human behavioral change as well. This is what that means for me.
Yeah, that's really exciting, and I think that's a very key point. Social change, sustainable change, or even sustainability goes beyond just environment. Environment
Mhm.
is just one part of it. There's the human aspect, there's the societal aspect as well. And I like even the example you gave, looking at mental health. Do they use games to tackle this issue as well?
Yes, so they're looking at games at creating some games to really ensure that men understand what is the difference. As I said, that they're fighting gender-based violence. So
Yeah,
they're looking at gamifying some experiences in order to acknowledge and understand and recognize and to be proactive in that behavioral um, in that behavior. Um, as we know, in South Africa, some community has got a lot of challenges, like economic challenges, cultural
yeah.
challenges, and that is sometimes an environment where gender-based violence is higher, and this is what they're doing right now, and
Wow.
using them as well.
Wow, that's really interesting. That's really interesting. And even you as well. I know you're not saying it, but then in case you don't know, Jojo is one of the few people that really networks people in the environment, in the ecosystem. As she has made mention of, she has a YouTube channel which you really need to check out. She also holds conversations and dialogues with lots of people within Africa, outside Africa, because unlike what most people would think, Africa is not the only underrepresented community, right? And she's doing this globally, reaching out to people all across to give them a voice, to spotlight them so that stakeholders out there that can support them can reach out to them. And I find this really, really interesting. Well done, Jojo. Thanks for all you do.
Thank you very
So,
much.
yeah. So now looking, let's see if we could move a little bit into this social impact that we speak of.
Mhm.
Um, what's so important about using creativity? What does creative skill set, or should I say creative art, like say games, like cartoon, what is that thing they have that actually makes it very important and useful in driving change?
What's so important about using creativity
Yeah,
for social change?
yeah,
Well, I think today, as you can see, all every industry has some type of gamification, has some type of creativity, and it is natural to actually and utilize creativity um, to actually solve those problems. And
yeah,
when we talk about the need for creative, is highlighting those problems and then changing and finding ways that's going to be, we already seen whatever was done in the past, so why
yeah.
not use new way, disrupt. And this is what I was telling you about the agency, is really have that mindset of disrupting the statu quo with the creative. And when we say, I'm in the game industry, and
Yeah,
really understanding how we can tackle those societal issues with those creativity. So we're talking about the environmental society,
yeah,
um, societal, human behavior. And I think what is important is that it's going to be more palatable for the whole community. Games, we will be able to educate our children through games to take care of the planet. We will be
mm,
able to educate our children through games to have a better way of understanding themselves and a better way of managing certain behavior. I think the education side of the creativity is key here. because we are here today, but we need to think about our children and how we can actually educate them for a better world.
Yeah, that's really true. I totally agree with you. The education part is key, and we really need to think about a better world for our children. And yeah, I'm 100% in agreement. That's really cool. Yeah. And so I know this, I ask this question sometimes when I speak with people, and it's always funny that I keep on asking. But then do you think, because right now, if you look at Africa, when you approach a creative, the number one ambition right now is to make money, right? And it's not that easy already in the industry because a lot of people are scrambling here and there. It's just now investments are coming in, and we're really, really happy to see these changes. So, do you think there's also, should I put the word, an entrepreneurial opportunity for this using your creative artwork? Say you're going into education, in terms of behavior, environment, whichever one these people choose as a game developer, animator, do you think there is an opportunity for probably funding or being entrepreneurial, running a sustainable business? What are your thoughts, please?
So there is two key message in your question here.
Yeah.
Is utilizing creativity to solve some global issue, in Africa, and then how to make money from that. And the key word here is global. So today, and it's going to be a long-term strategy again. Today, it's not only a problem in Africa, but it's a global problem. So really focusing on ensuring that we hone our skills, we understand that the how to solve a problem, and then as I was saying, the work that I'm doing is to really market those skills, not only locally but internationally. As you say, there are now some funding that comes into Africa, and there is a high interest and an increased interest in the cultural aspect and the creative industry in Africa. Why not leverage that interest in ensuring that we not only support the continent, but as well globally?
Yeah, I like what you've said, actually. So basically, you're telling creatives, think global. The problem is not just local to Africa, it's also global. And then you've also made mention of the fact that there's also an interest in having that African aspect in whatever you're doing. So there you have it, guys. Think global. Add a bit of, how do I put it, genuineness, uniqueness that speaks to your African heritage. And yeah, with platforms like yours, people can actually reach out to people. I remember when I started the first Gamerton as well, it was through a platform like yours. Even when I came on your program, lots of people have reached out to me. And that's really interesting and key. Wow. Thanks a lot for that. Thanks a lot. This is really, really interesting. I like it.
Yeah. My purpose here is to support the visibility and the growth of diverse content and content creator. So definitely reach out to me if you are in this need.
Yeah, awesome. And please, if you have something good as well, so that you don't waste, if you have a project that, even if it's at concept stage, but something really fleshed out, so you can reach out to her. If you look at the screen, you'd see our website. You can go over it. She does quite a lot. Advocacy, consultancy, reach out to Jojo. You could drop a message for her through our website. You could also follow her on her social media channels, and you could get to see what she's doing for the industry. So yeah, Jojo, do you have more for us? Do you have anything probably out of the box? Something we probably have missed?
Something that we have missed. I'd like to highlight one developer, game developer
Hi.
that actually I was on a panel with him on Friday, and he's utilizing gaming for everything that we talk about. So not
Wow.
only entertainment, but as well, and how to he has created a platform to raise funds for creative in Africa, and as
Yeah.
well is actually is actually observing changes, societal changes
Yeah.
based on games that he has created, and that developer is Kiro Game, Kiro Games in Cameroon, and
Yes.
definitely, and not only, and he does that not only in games, but he's the first game studio cross platform. So he does animation and he does comic as well.
Yeah.
So that's, if you would like to see an example of someone that has made it, it will tell you he's very humble, Olivier, is that he hasn't made it yet, but I think that he's on the great path.
Yeah.
Hero Games is a great case study to look at.
Yes, I just shared the link to Kiro Games online through the chat section, through the comment section. So that's kiroworld.com. And yes, I know them. They are the makers of Orion, which is arguably one of the best games to come out of Africa. That's really exciting. And it's good to see what they're actually working on building. This is interesting. We need more of this. So yeah, guys, yeah, so it's not new out there, guys. People are working, probably you just don't know about them, but people are doing really amazing stuff and you can get on board it as well. So yeah, Jojo, thanks so much for your time. And this is really exciting. I believe we would call on you once more. Thanks for supporting the E-Africa Challenge. We hope to get different kind of projects, from games to animation to short videos. I would really love you to go over some of these projects so that we can actually highlight some and bring them more to the spotlight, which is really
Sure.
exciting.
Sure.
And
That would be my pleasure, Oscar.
awesome then. So I don't really know. I feel like we've had a really interesting conversation. I think in terms of value, we've really been able to highlight some things. So I don't know, is there more? Is there anything you want to give to the audience before you leave?
Thank you for being there, and thank you actually to believe in yourself, and it's going to take some time,
Yeah.
but you're going to make it, definitely.
Wow. Awesome. Thanks for that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So thanks a lot, Jojo, and do
Bye.
enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah. Well, guys, that was really that was really an exciting session with Johana Riquier. Like we said, she's a social impact advocate, a business strategist, and she's really doing really awesome stuff in the gaming industry. It's more like if you're in the games industry, especially in Africa, and you've not met Johana, you've not spoken with Johana, there's still a lot for you to go through, basically, because she has been there. She's traveled across Africa. She's tried to meet most of the key stakeholders, and she's working, guys. She's really working, connecting people to one another. We at Africa Communicate can testify to that. Johana has really backed us, and we look forward to a future where we can do so much more together. So if you have projects, if you have anything really interesting, you would love to have it spotlighted, you would love to showcase it to the world, you need some access to some stakeholders, please feel free to reach out to Johana. I'm dropping our website on the comment section. So please feel free to reach out to her and let's see what you can do. I know for most people it's work hours already, so I do hope a lot of people would come to look at this, but I hope you're excited already. First, we had Peter Vesterbacka, the mighty ego at Rubia Entertainment, and he has been able to, And he has been able to take us through 1, 2 stuff that are really, really interesting. And talking about Ruvio Entertainment, I mean, imagine the company actually created 51 games before it became successful. Talking about talent density in Finland, we at Africa Communicator are also working to see how we can create a merger, see how we can get African creatives to connect with creatives out there in the world and with the Nordics especially. And he also spoke about his organization, Ambitious Africa, which is trying to connect people together, Africans and the Nordics, so that they can collaborate on various projects. I'm sorry, a second. So they can collaborate on various projects. You should check out Ambitious Africa, guys. It's all about youth driving change for the SDGs and more. And his last words, which I really wrote down, don't think, do think. Don't spend so much time trying to figure out what you want to get out there. If it's your passion, get involved in it and push with all your might. That's really, really something interesting. And then we had this session with Johana, who spoke a lot about some really exciting stuff when you look at social impact, social change, stating that it's not just even environmental, as is the case with this challenge, but you could also look at behavioral changes in humans. She gave example of the startup that works with mental health for men, trying to gamify a process that actually exposes men, teaches men about mental health, mental issues, and that's really exciting. She then also spoke of Kiro Game. Kiro Games are the makers of Orion. If you have not played Orion, you really need to check that game out. It's one of my favorite games. I believe we spotlighted it last year, and yeah, during the Gameathon, and we look forward to meeting them and speaking and learning so much. I'll be dropping the link to Orion once more, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. Yes. So there it is, guys. The link to Orion is in the comment section. You can go check it out. Check out the game. It's a really interesting game. So yes. And yep, we're moving on. Our next speaker is going to be Dan from Creative Nest Foundation. And let me see. I think he's running a bit late. But just a quick brief. Dan is here. Awesome. Awesome. I like everyone is on time today. I wonder what is happening. And then they say there's something called African time. I think that was only me because I started late. I feel so bad right now. Peter was way early. Dan is here. Johana is here as well. And guys, I guess it's a pleasure to welcome on board Dan.
Thank
Hello.
you. Thank you so much. How are you doing?
Fine. How do you do, sir?
Good. Thank you so much. I'll go straight into it.
Okay.
Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Dan Kinyanjui, popularly known as Dan Sonko. I'm glad to be part of the Africa Challenge, and I come in 2 capacities actually. First capacity is team member of the Ambitious Africa Education team, which I joined very recently. And second capacity is as team leader of the Creative Nest Foundation. This one is located off the beautiful island of Mombasa in the East African Republic of Kenya, which is where I am right now. So, the Africa Challenge and a creative mindset. I remember we were discussing this with Oscar, and I love the fact that we are anchored on the SDGs and we're looking for solutions, especially towards climate change this time round. But then I wanted to challenge anyone who's either supporting, taking part, or even just observing. There's something about creatives that makes them tick. And that is what I want to address. And I think it will also highlight the kind of passion I have for this challenge on a very personal level. So I'm a storyteller, and that's how I love to deliver my talks. So now, why the Africa Challenge? The Africa Challenge has artists, creatives, and it has the tech. Yeah. For me, I find it as a passion because I'm tied to both. I studied at the prestigious Kigali Institute of Science and Technology in Rwanda, and I did computer science. And from a very young age, I was passionate about theater. And from as early as I think 7 years old. So there's something about tech and the arts that just draws me in. Now, get into the mind of a creative. What does a creative do? Creatives have a lot of challenges because they are out to break norms. They are out to change and unlearn cultural conditioning. And it's usually difficult because one thing most of us battle with, and sometimes we don't know, are distractions. There are a lot of distractions that can make you lose your focus. And this is one thing I want us to peg and hang on to. Starve your distractions and feed your focus. That's one way that you can achieve what you really want to achieve. What we are doing here at the eAfrica Challenge, and what you'll see through the entire week, is people trying to come up with solutions to common problems that affect all of us. And it's usually very difficult. You find creatives have ideas, for example, but they're distracted because they don't have the funding. So how do they overcome that barrier? You find there are those who maybe have the funding but don't have the know-how. How do they overcome that? How do they get trusting individuals? This is all a mindset issue, and this is where creatives come in. So where's my challenge in the eAfrica Challenge? I want us to try and develop a creative mindset whereby I gave an illustration today on my social media, and I told guys, close your eyes for a minute. And that's what I would ask whoever is watching to do. Just close your eyes for a minute and imagine you're dead. Yeah? And all the weight that you had has been lifted, whether it is debts, whether it is a push to achieve a certain goal, whatever it is has been lifted. Okay? Now open your eyes because you're not dead. That is a blank canvas. Creatives are told to think outside the box. But here's a challenge. Remove the box altogether, because once you start compartmentalizing things, that's where you fail to open your mind to possibilities. And that is what the gamers are bringing here this week. Picture this as a human race, because we are all in a human race. Right now, it's the whole of Africa that has come together. The race is whoever is at the front does not thump their chest. It's more of a relay race. So you just pass the baton on to the next one. Right now, the best coder will come out at the end of this week. It will be for them to shine, and everyone else, and that's what coders do. Everyone else comes together, looks at what they did to be the best, and try to improve it. If we can apply that mindset to everything that we do, you'll be surprised. All of us are creatives in our different spheres. So a creative mindset is not too far-fetched. It just needs practice. It needs flexing your mind. It needs being open and vulnerable, and that's what people are doing. So being a part of this challenge is really something that is very close to my heart, and I would wish for everyone to try and develop a creative mindset, because at the end of the day, the problem solvers are not the ones who will sit still. They are the ones who will break through, break barriers. Someone who has held the baton and is tired should be able to release it to someone else to run one lap and pass it on. That is the kind of mindset that we are developing here at the Creativeness Foundation, and also throughout this entire challenge. So I think that's what I had, unless there are any questions. Oscar. Oscar, you're on mute. You're on mute, Oscar.
Sorry about that. Yeah, well, that was really intense, direct and straight to the point, and it's very interesting. I love the challenge in the eAfrica Challenge, where you close your eyes and imagine all your worries are off. And then you come back to reality, and now you're expected to think outside the box, like do away with the box and push. And yeah, I think it's very important, because you have really highlighted that one of the issues with creativity in Africa is the many worries aside being creativity, surviving, feeding, paying rent, bills, and the like. And that's interesting. Since we have just a little couple more time to spend with you, we'd just love you to speak a little bit more about the Creative Nest Foundation. We've been seeing lots of activity online, and it's really exciting. So can you please, for so many people, probably they are not aware of what the Creative Nest Foundation is. Can you throw some light on it?
Okay, thank you for that opportunity. Well, the Creative Nest Foundation is it was born out of problems. Like I said, close your eyes and die. Basically, it is like a phoenix that rises from the ashes. So it was registered in June last year, and it was after an exercise of feeding. We started a feeding program at the height of the pandemic. That was in March last year. We were able to feed about 1,300 creatives in Mombasa, and then we stopped. We stopped on June 29th last year because we said, you know what, we cannot keep on feeding. Feeding creates, again, a poverty mindset because there's that feeling of expectation. You always have your hand out. So we sat down as a team and were like, look, let's stop feeding and now start dishing out fishing rods. Find out where are the problems. How can we help you achieve your goal? So from that kind of a discussion, the foundation was born. And that foundation, the reason it's called Creative Nest, it's basically that. It's a nest whereby eggs are hatched, it is nurtured, and then it grows strong wings to fly, right?
Yeah.
So that was June 29th, we stopped feeding. July 15th last year, we opened the first of a kind social good center, yeah, which is right in the heart of Mombasa. And the social good center is basically a hub for creatives. It is connected, they can come in, that's where I'm recording from.
Wow.
And we are trying to be we call it the showroom for creatives. So we have organized them back into their own groups because remember, if a system is working, you don't need to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
So we get them in their groups. If they are not registered, we assist them in registration. If they are not able to access funding, we help them in source for the funding, in filling the forms, submitting. So we are like the go-between. I'd call it the spotlight behind the spotlight. Yeah. So
nice. Yeah.
what the foundation does is it really tries to help under the shadows. A lot of creatives get their true value and really shine out there. And currently, we have a team of interior decorators. They call themselves Kejani by Design, who have taken up the social center as a showroom for their custom-made furniture and also interior design items. They'll be launching again in July this year. That is now a year after the launch of the foundation. We are launching a whole showroom in town. I mean, it's a way of showing people that, you know what, we can do it, and all you need is resource allocation. I get the resource, I know where to allocate it. I give you the resource, you know where to allocate it. At the end of the day, each one feeds one and we all grow. So that's what the foundation is about.
Wow. That's really nice to hear. I really like that. And yeah, it sounds exciting. It sounds really exciting, and I look forward to seeing what you do. I can also say I've noticed lots of partnerships with other organizations. So yeah, what you said is key. If a system is working, there's no need to reinvent the wheel. You could just add to it and support it. And also the ideology of instead of giving handouts, like they say, instead of giving a man fish, teach him how to fish. And that's really exciting. And yeah, we look forward to seeing what would come out of Creative Nest Foundation. We definitely look forward to collaborating with your organization. More collaboration. E-Africa Challenge, let's see it as the first. Let's see how we can support creatives. On our end, Africa Communicate is looking at education, is looking at providing data, is looking at networking people to funding and investment. And we like that you have a hub. We love that you have a community, and we're really excited to see what we can do together. So
just to add on a very personal capacity, in line with the 17 SDGs, I very personally champion and go for number 3, which is on well-being and health. My
Yes.
main topic is usually mental health, and I work with very many youth in that particular sector. So that is on a very personal capacity aside from Creative Nest Foundation.
Yeah. Wow, that's
Yeah,
cool. That's cool to hear. Mental health is really, really important. Very
true.
important, very much needed, and it's good to see you are looking into that. And that's great. That's really great. So thanks so much for coming by, Dan.
Thank you.
Also, we'll be getting lots of submissions from creative. We do hope that they are going to build some exciting stuff, and we would love you also, once these projects are out, for you to try your hands on them, give feedback, make some judges or comments. Let's see how we can together support the creatives across Africa. So thanks so much. Enjoy your afternoon.
Thank you, Oscar. Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay. And yep, that was Dan from Creative Nest Foundation. That was really, really fast, straightforward to the point. I love his energy. And I'm really, really excited to see what will come out of that foundation. As he had said, it's in Mombasa, that's in Kenya, and they're really working with creatives to see what they can do. So yeah, guys, we've gotten to the end of today's session. We're trying our best to ensure that the live sessions don't go beyond 2 hours, so that we can really round up on time and give people the opportunity to do other things they have to do. And what we then have right now for you all, something interesting we have, is it's time to announce the course. For you to partake in the eAfrica Challenge this year, working on climate change, it's very important that you are able to work using information, actual information, not just based on bias or personal feelings or so. We want you to be backed with some actual data and knowledge, which we can provide to you. We can't provide it because we are not experts in climate change ourselves. But then there are lots of platforms out there with information that can really guide you. What we can do is connect you with these platforms. And of all these platforms out there, we have actually highlighted one which we would love everyone to be a part of. Everybody interested in building something for this challenge. Even if you have something done already, it's advised that you go through this course so that you can improve on what you have. Trust me, there's so much to learn out there. We do know that this is important. So the course is, I'll be sharing my screen now. So the course is a course by United Nations. There's a platform called UNCC Learn. And sorry, please. There's a platform called UNCC Learn, and that's the platform we'll be using for today to see how we can bring everyone together and educate them on climate change. And yep, you can look at the chat section right now. I've just shared the course link. Please, everyone is expected to go through this course. Very important. It's an 8-hour course, so we expect you take out 2 hours daily just to spend time going through the course. 2 hours daily. The hackathon should start officially by Thursday. So 2 hours daily, you should be able to have completed the course. You would have updated information about what climate change is about and how you can use your creative skills to solve this problem. And yeah, that's it. That's the first challenge. Challenge 1. Go check the course out. Try to update your knowledge. Try to learn something new today. Even if you are not in environment or so, as an individual, it's going to take everyone. Sustainability, the sustainability of our world is everyone's responsibility. So you should familiarize yourself with content like this. You should familiarize yourself with knowledge like this. And now the challenge after learning about climate change would be to drive action with this newfound knowledge. My name is Oscar Michael. I'm the co-founder of Africa Communicate and your host for the E-Africa Challenge. Thanks for staying with me. Thanks for listening. Thanks for joining. If you have questions, do reach out. We're going to have some sessions with some more amazing speakers tomorrow. So please come same time. Let's see what we can do. Also follow us on our social media handles for updated information. Join our Discord server. This is quite important so that you can also get quick access, direct access to the information we are sharing. And please start going through the course if you can. It's very important. It's needed. You'll get a certification at the end of it from UNCC Learn. And above all, it's for your own benefit. I challenged myself as well not to take the course beforehand, and I would be going through the course this period as well. So if you have questions, anything, let's share and discuss in the Discord server. Let's talk about it. And I look forward to seeing you there. Do have a lovely afternoon. Bye, everyone.